Hi guys, so what we're going to be doing today, we're going to learn a couple things. Okay, we're going to begin with absolute value. Okay, and what is absolute value? Absolute value is simply the distance from zero that a number is on the number line, regardless of the sign. So it doesn't matter if it's positive or if it's negative. It's basically saying that the amount of times you have to jump to get to zero. That is the absolute value. Now, another thing I want to cover with you guys before we actually get into some examples of absolute value. The worksheet that I checked last week, I am noticing that some of you still don't know how to number your number line. And I'm pretty sure that Miss Chung has already taught you guys that in standard 4. So I'm just going to give you a basic brush up on that so that you can, refresh your memory a little bit, right? So here we have our 0. All the numbers to the right are positives and the numbers to the left are negatives. Okay, so let's begin by labeling our positive numbers. And for our positive numbers, we won't be putting a +1 and a little plus in front of the 2 and the plus in front of the 3, right? Positive numbers are understood to be positive even when they don't have a sign on them. The negative numbers, now on this side, it is very important to put your negative sign. -1, -2, -3, and notice, you see where the 0 is? +1 to the right, and you start with -1 to the left. -1 does not go all the way here, and you start -1, -2, -3. That's not how it goes, okay? You're going to start here, and you're going to go -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, -10, -11. Oopsie, sorry. -11. And if you notice, we have arrows here and arrows here. That is telling you that the number line goes on and on and on and on and on, right? There's more numbers, but we're only focusing on this one for right now. So, if we want to find what is the absolute value, let's say -8. What is the absolute value of -8? What we're going to do, we're going to locate -8 on the number line, and we're going to jump towards 0. Let's see how many jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So how many times did we jump? We jumped 8 times. Okay, so the absolute value of -8 is 8. Let's look at another number. Let's do +9. 9. It's the same thing, right? When you always those counting numbers, when you hear people say 20 + 5, they're talking about positive numbers. Okay, all right, so let's find 9 on the number line, and we're gonna jump towards 0, and 0 is this way, so we're gonna jump this way, right? And we're gonna stop at 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the absolute value of 9 is 9. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do the absolute value of -4. Let's find what is the absolute value. What do you think that number would be? Okay, if you look at the example here, what do you think this number would be? A negative 8. The absolute value is 8. Positive 9. The absolute value is 9. What do you think this one would be? Alright, let's work it out to see if it's what you thought it was. So we're going to find the negative 4 on the number line. And we're going to jump to 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So basically, if you notice what is happening here, basically, the absolute value is simply the number without a sign. Alright? To make it a little easier for you, it's just the number without a sign. So now, for example, if we don't even need the number line to find what is an absolute value. I was just using the number line so you can see it's the distance to 0. Okay? Now, if we have, let me make sure you're seeing. If we have negative 46, the number without a sign would be what? 46. So this is the absolute value. If we have 149, the answer would be 149. That's the absolute value. That is how many jumps before it reaches to 0. So regardless if it is a negative or a positive, your absolute value is going to be just the number without the sign. Okay? So we're going to move on now into the actual lesson.